Okay, originally I wasn't actually planning on watching this movie, and I think you guys can guess why. But some people were asking me, since I'm Greek, and they do want to know like what my take is and what my thoughts are on this movie. So I thought, why not? And this way I can also give you guys an honest review on the movie as well. But after watching this movie, what the hell did I watch? Because not only all the controversy is confirmed in this movie, but also this movie is so boring. Like, I literally almost fell asleep as I was watching this movie. Now, I'll talk all about that later in the video, but first I want to talk about the positives. Because when it comes to the positives, the only positive about this movie is the acting. Now, I do think that the acting was pretty good, because I do think that Matt Damon did a very good job playing Odysseus, and I do think he's the only one that was really carrying this movie. I do think that. Tom Holland did very good playing Telemachus. I think he did a very good job. Also, Robert Pattinson did a very good job playing one of the suitors, because he is very unlikable in this movie. So I do think that the acting was pretty good on their parts. Now, everybody else was a bit iffy. Now, I'll get to the casting choices and all of that in a second, but when it comes to the acting and the way they were embodying these characters, I think there were a lot of wrong choices made here, because I'll give you guys an example. The guy that plays the Punisher, I can never remember the actor's name, but I do think in this movie he's playing the wrong character, because I think he would have been better for him to play Agamemnon. I think he would have made a very good Agamemnon, because he's got the, the aggressive personality, he's built, he's like, he looks strong, you know what I mean? I think he would have played a better Agamemnon in my opinion. But that's all the positives about this movie, because everything else about this movie completely sucks. And since we are talking about, the actors and the casting and all that, let's get to that first. So you can tell with the casting choices that this is filled with DEI. You can tell big time. That's the only reason why this has a diverse cast. And you did see it in the trailers as well, with all the race swapping and all of that. And what's funny about that is there's not a single Greek in this movie. Now, I'm not saying is that they needed to hire a Greek actor to play in this movie. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what bothers me. Because I think even the movie 300 didn't have a Greek actor in that movie either. I'm not sure about that, but I think that's how it was. But what I'm saying by there's not a single Greek in this movie, because the way the story, the way visual, the way it looked, the way these characters were behaving and stuff like that, and because it also did have a diverse cast, this does not feel like this story is set in Greece. It doesn't feel like that at all, outside of the names and the places of names either. Because that's the only thing that felt kind of Greek. Everything else, like as I'm watching these characters, like you can clearly tell this guy's not Greek, that guy's clearly not Greek. Helen of Troy is clearly not Greek. Like this movie does not feel like this story is taking place in ancient Greece. It doesn't feel like that at all. Like it literally feels that they've taken the story of the Odyssey, they put it in a parallel universe, and it's set in that parallel universe, because even the way the characters were talking and the way they were behaving, they actually felt like modern day Americans to me, to be honest with you. Like it was immersion breaking for me at that point, because I did not see Greek in this movie. Like this story and this movie does not feel like it's set in ancient Greece. It really doesn't, because as I'm watching this movie, there's nothing looks authentically Greek. Outside of names of characters, the names of places they're going to, and the Greek gods. That's the only thing that's Greek in this movie. Everything else does not feel Greek at all. Like I said, this story, it's like it's based in a different universe. Because not only is that a problem, but also the locations as well. Because I noticed that every building, not every single building in this movie, but most of the buildings in this movie look like ruins. Like they literally went to a ruin, and they started filming stuff. Because there is an odd scene that I saw. Is like, oh, welcome to our castle. And it's literally like, if you take a look at the castle, it's just ruins. Look, why did they even decide to do that? Like, couldn't they use CGI to fix it, to make it look like the way it used to look like in the past? Like that's so weird. Like even the buildings themselves look like ruins, and the lighting was a bit dark as well. Like I don't know why they decided to do that. Because even Christopher Nolan said they wanted to go for accuracy. Clearly, it is not accuracy here. Because even if even the costumes. The costumes in this movie looked absolutely ridiculous. It really did. The armor that they were wearing looked ridiculous, especially on the Trojans as well. It almost look these people literally wearing leather and what looked like plastic to me. Like it did. The metal, the armor itself looked like it was made out of plastic and leather. Like I don't know, man. I think there was some weird choice, and the designers as well. It's not even close to what the armor used to look like back then. Like even this. If you guys have seen the movie Troy in 2004, if you see the one with Brad Pitt, if you take a look at that armor, even that armor was not accurate, right? Even that armor was not very, very accurate, but at least it's close. At least I got it kind of close. This movie is completely different. Like they went with a completely different design, except for like little things here and there, like that on the helmet, you know, that thing on top that looks like that. Not feathery, what is it? Like hairs, you know, that red hair thing. I don't know what they call that thing. But outside of that, the armor looked absolutely ridiculous. Like it's not even it's not even the Greek design. It looked like I said, it's in a parallel universe or a different planet to where they evolve their weapons differently. Like, actually, no, I should say that their weapons in the movie were pretty decent. It's just their costumes and the armor look ridiculous. Agamemnon looked ridiculous in that black armor. I'm sorry, but he did. I know they tried to make him look like a badass, but yeah, he looked ridiculous. Like I even saw some people comparing him to Batman, but to be honest with you, he looks like a homeless Darth Vader to me. He really does. He looked like, as soon as I saw him, like, dude, this guy looks fucking ridiculous. He looks ridiculous. Like who designed these outfits? They look ridiculous. Oh, and then we can't forget about the Giants because their armor look absolutely ridiculous as well. Dude, and out of everything, they're wearing plate armor in ancient times. Where the hell did they get the plate armor from? You know what I mean? That's like medieval era armor, but the way it was designed looked absolutely ridiculous. It really did. Also, there's literally a scene as soon as they arrive to that island, just before they fight the Giants. They find a kid, one of the Giants' kids, right? They try to interact with it, and this kid is literally wearing armor. Like, what? Did these Giants take the kids into battle? Like, what kind of logic is that? Why is he wearing armor? You know what I mean? Like, there's some choices that were made in this movie that are completely ridiculous, and I feel out of place at the same time. Like, I don't know. Like I said, the armor, the costumes look absolutely ridiculous in this movie. They really do. They're completely ridiculous. Also, you know what else looked absolutely ridiculous? The monsters. I hated the monster design, the way they were designed for this movie. I hated it because I'll give you guys an example. The Cyclops, right? Everybody knows what a Cyclops looks like, right? So what they did with the design is that they took the Cyclops design, the way it's supposed to look like, they turned him into an alien, and then they made him more demonic. That's literally what they did. And it looks like it looks bad. Like I don't know why they decided to do it. It's so bad. And I actually hate that they actually changed this scene to comparing to the source material, because in the source material, Odysseus needs to use his brain to get out of that situation, right? But in the movie they didn't do that. Like I don't know why they didn't do it, because you're supposed to because the thing is about Odysseus, he's a bit of a trickster and he's very cunning. But in this movie they didn't show that. It's like that whole point was they cut that out, because they try to show Odysseus more into like he's suffering from post-traumatic stress, which is, I don't think that was even a part of the original source material. That's not what Homer wrote. You know what I mean? Because he's supposed to be cunning, and the way he gets out of the Cyclops scene is he uses his brain to get out of that situation. That's who Odysseus is. But they changed it. Like I hated that they did that, including the monster designs as I mentioned. They look bad. Like they also look ridiculous. Like they don't even look like the way they're supposed to look like. I'll give you another example. Cilia. I think that's what the monster's name is, Cilia. So basically, in the original source material, he's like it's this monster with multiple heads, like multiple snake heads, right? Right. But the way he looks like in this movie, he looks like a mutated parasite. He really does, or a mutated worm with multiple heads. It's a weird choice, man. I don't know why they decided to do. Like the monsters in this look more like Greek mythology, and they look kind of like almost like they almost made them look more demonic in a sense, which is a bit of a weird choice. I don't know why they decided to do that, but I would have stuck with the original designs. You know, I don't know why they decided to, because they made the movie feel very weird when they did this, because it doesn't look, like I said, it does not. This movie does not feel like it's set in ancient Greece. It feels like we're in a parallel universe or a different planet, fighting some type of alien creatures. That's literally what it feels like to me. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know. It's weird. It is weird. The scene with the sirens, that scene needed to be much longer, because here's the thing about this movie as well, because as I mentioned at the start of this video, is that this movie is very boring. It is a boring movie. Like, even if you just focus on the pacing and the story itself, it's boring. This movie is boring. Like, it doesn't get good. Like, when the movie picks up, it picks up like when I would say when Telemachus leaves Sparta, which is about 70% of this movie, and the movie is 3 hours. Like, that's the point where the movie starts kind of picking up. But like I said, waiting for that long, it's not worth it, because like, you're bored out of your brain throughout the whole movie. So yeah, look, yeah, it is a boring movie. Like, I cannot believe that people are giving this movie a 10 out of 10. I can't believe that, because this movie is 100% not a 10 out of 10 movie. I can't see that, because like I said, even if you were to push all the DEI, all the bad designs, all that, even if you were to push that away, it's still a boring movie. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I can't see how this is a 10 out of 10. I really don't see that. Now, when it comes to the story, was the story accurate and faithful to the source material? I want to say this. If you're talking about in highlights, like the way Odysseus was supposed to encounter Nex and that, kind of, yeah, if you're looking at it as highlights, but if you want to take the whole story as a whole, like what Odysseus is supposed to be as a character, and why he encounters what he encounters, why he gets lost, and all of that, like the story itself, it's not very accurate, because I've noticed a lot of changes comparing to the source material. There's a lot of changes. Like I said, when it comes to Odysseus' character, he's cunning in the original source material. He's cunning. He's supposed to be a smart guy, and he's able to weasel his way, because he's a bit of a trickster as well, kind of, where he needs to weasel away. So he's got to use his brain to get out of these situations. That's in the source material. But in this one, they showed him kind of like he's suffering from post-traumatic stress, and they showed it now in the effects of war, which is not in the source material. Like, it's, you know what I mean? So so the story is changed. I wouldn't ever say this is definitely not faithful. Like, if you look at it if you look at this movie as a whole, this is definitely not faithful. And I'll even say this. This does feel like cultural assassination. It really does, right? Because I'll give you guys another scene that happens in this movie, and I'll tell you why it's cultural assassination, right? So there is a scene in this movie. Odysseus, right, and his men, they're lost at sea, right? So they need food. So they decide to go to this island to try to get food. Now, what we see is that basically Odysseus' men is basically raiding this town, right? And there's this old man there, right? And it's clearly two Indian guys. Look, they look Indian guys, right? He's two of Odysseus' men confronting this old man that clearly look Indian, right? And one of them plays translator. Now, I'll tell you what's funny, because when I was watching this, there was no subtitle, so I don't know if you guys got that, but I'll give you guys a translation to what I was saying, because that old man was actually speaking Greek. So I'll give you guys a translation. This is literally what it said, right? So the guy asked him, like, why did you guys run from us, you know? And the guy literally says in Greek, oh, we thought you guys were invaders from the sea. That's literally what he says, right? And the guy says, no, we're the real Greeks. We are Greek. Like, trying to convince his old man that they are Greek, you know? And clearly, visually, they're not Greek. You know what I mean? So it's almost like in this scene, they're implying is that we've come to you and we are the real Greeks, which is a weird choice. Now, it could be taken that way. Now, maybe innocently, maybe that's not the whole goal of the scene. Maybe they tried to put the Greek language in it to make it look like an Easter egg, but I don't think that's the case, because it is a weird scene. Because the thing is that these are supposed to be two Greek soldiers, right? But they can't understand their own language. Like, are you kidding me? Like, how does that work? How does that make sense? You know what I mean? That's literally what he said. Like in Greek, he says, like, well, I thought you guys were invaders from the sea. he says literally, and you know the Greek soldier says, no, we are Greeks, we are the real Greeks, you know, we're like you, but clearly they're not, because clearly these two look like they're Indian descent. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's almost like saying we're as Greek as you, and now this land belongs to us. Because you do see in the background that they are raiding basically his village. There, you know, you see that in the, you know what I mean? It's very odd things. Like there are some, like I said, there is heavy DEI and there is political messaging in this movie. There is, but it's very subtle. I do want to point that out, because even as I said, like even with that scene, is that how are you serving in the army when you can't understand your own language? You know what I mean? That's a weird choice. I don't know. Like, how else would you take that scene? You know what I mean? Like, how else would you take it? There's no other way that you can take it. You know what I'm saying? But that's only if you understand the Greek, if you understand what the old man is saying. Because, like I said, when I was watching it, I saw no subtitles. But obviously, like, you know, I can understand Greek, right? So I don't know if you guys got the subtitles, but for me, there was no subtitles. So I did want to point out that scene. Now, I can go on and on and on about the negatives of this movie because I am Greek and I do know these stories very well. But the problem is this video is going to end up being too long, so I think I'm going to end it here. So yes, I do not recommend this movie. Because even if you were to push all the controversy away, even all the negative stuff, if you were to push it all away, this is still a boring movie. Like, I was not entertained by this movie, which is a shame because we could have gotten a really good movie. We really could have, but unfortunately they had to mess it up. Because I really think that these people do not understand the source material and the original story. Also, I do want to mention is that when it comes to Hollywood, if it's not their product, usually they do mess it up. They do. Look, there are some exceptions here and there, but they do mess it up. So I did want to point that out as well. So it is what it is, I guess. That's how it is. So unfortunately, this movie sucks. I did not like this movie at all. So anyway, those are my thoughts. Like and subscribe if you like this kind of content. Let me know what you guys think about the movie down below. And thank you for watching.